Hey everybody, you doing all right? Good. It's me. Today I wanted to go over some of the highlights of the presidential debate with Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump, the former president of the United States. The time of this recording, it is September, whatever, the 2024, and it was quite interesting. I would also like to compare the debates from Joe Biden a few months ago and compared it with last night's debate and see the amazing contrast between the two. Who won, who lost, why, when, where, how, over and over again. Here we go. This is a wash, rinse, and repeat situation for sure. I'll see y'all in about 60.
You good. You good. You good. You good. Don't stop.
Bass.
It's the show that will get you thinking, and where the topics are hot. Feel free to comment whether we agree or not, 'cause he's got something to say.
Sirwalterj. Sirwalterj.
He's got something to say. Sirwalterj.
Report live 7 days a week, always on time, but his time is not free. Sirwalterj, always on fleek. Latest trending topics, how you jumping out your seat.
He's got something to say.
Come on in. The water's fine.
Hello, everybody. Sirwalterj Jones Show. I'm here. It is the midday connection, baby. Hi, everyone. It's coming in Water's Pine. Y'all all right, Bunkers? Good to see you. Sam, Wendy, April, Lakeisha. Said it again. I said Sam twice. Monkey Moves. A whole bunch of y'all here. Good to see you, Tina. Yes, we are live. If I'm saying your name, Nicole C is here, and a whole bunch of y'all. All right, let's get into this. Eleanor, Ann, and Sheila. What's going on here is, I often hear, Monica, people say, why do you delve in politics? Well, my question to you is, why not? Why don't you delve into politics? You see, Christians are too holy for their own farts. You can't smell it. I get so sick of people who are so biblically minded, but they're no earthly good. It's bad enough you're not that biblically minded. The Bible is in your mind, but you don't know much about it. But you live in a place, it's called the world. And in that world, you live in a governmental system that is over you. And that Bible that you thump, the Apostle Paul wrote a letter to the Roman church to say that you are to obey those. In civic leadership, not just those in church, obey those that rule over, not just about church. It's about those who are politicians. He also was speaking to Timothy about it. All right. And that we will pray and intercede for those who are potentates and kings and prime ministers and presidents so that we might lead a peaceable life on the earth. You're supposed to obey the police. Stop calling them the devil and all that stuff until somebody break in your house or carjack you. Now you want the police to come to your aid immediately. Some of you all just drive me up the wall. So you are living in a worldly system and you're not of the world, but you live here. And just like Jesus knew all about the Sanhedrin, which was the governmental setup at that time, he knew about the Grecian Empire. He knew about the Romans, those who were taken over at that time. He knew about, those who were in leadership. He knew who they were. He knew the system. And so you all wants to walk away or ignore the system that will affect you and affect your children, affect your bottom line, affect your retirement, affect the rent that you're paying right now in the mortgage and the APR, and the percentage rates of your credit cards and all this stuff. You crying at the man and got you down, what have you, and then you say ignore the politics. Man, something wrong with y'all. Again, you so biblically minded, but you ain't no earthly good. You don't know nothing about the system that we are in today. So I watch the news, something that you all refuse to watch. I watch it so that I could be informed. How can I be a good pastor, a good elder, a good clergyman, a good father, if I know nothing about the system that is going to be over the children that I leave here once I'm gone? Do you understand? Some of you don't even go to your school to check up on the children. You don't go to the parent teacher conferences. You just don't do it. You've never been to a town hall. You think your city got a hall that says town hall. All right. A town hall could be anywhere. It could be at the library, but you don't go to none of that stuff. And this is why the Christianity in America is weak, weak, weak. Because you are separatists. You are a cult of yourself. Go to my Unplugged for Monday night. I talked about being caught in cults. You're in a cultic situation because you're saying this is not important, that the Lord is coming soon, blah, 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 blah. Listen, the white evangelicals did that back in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. The Lord is coming soon. We don't need to worry about abortion. That's a Catholic fight. We don't need to worry about voting for presidencies and blah, blah, blah. That's them people fight. And the Lord is coming soon. And then Ronald Reagan came on the scene, and then they was like, oh, maybe that's the Lord right there. And ever since Ronald Reagan, they've been doing it. They've been jumping in there because they keep thinking that these presidents is the Lord. From Reagan to Bush, back to Bush, now to Donald Trump. And they made him the greatest Lord there is. And African Americans did the same thing with Barack Obama when he was running. You decided people who never voted before were voting only because the man was black. And just like Ronald Reagan, who said he was going to do all these things for the white evangelicals, he did none of it, and they stayed in there. And once a dog bites you and he tastes blood, the city got to kill that dog. Why? Because he tasted blood, something he had never tasted before, human blood. You got to kill him, take him down, because he becomes a menace to society. When them white evangelicals jumped into the political arena and started voting, taking up the realm of somebody who they thought was holier than thou, once you jump in there, you can't get out. And that's why we have this Trumpster type mentality among them today. And you all who are African Americans are the same way with the Democratic Party, because they gave you some cheese. And let me tell you, that government cheese was the best cheese in the world. Man, let me tell you, we put that stuff on everything. We put that government cheese in our macaroni, and we sliced it, put it in our bread, and we put that cheese in everything we had. The government cheese was the greatest thing to poor black folks that I know today. And so you all jumped into that party, and it didn't matter if the party was killing you. It didn't matter if it was making you poorer, making you weaker, making you sicker. It didn't matter. They were doing all these things for you. And you got to understand here, this one thing you don't know. And I need to tell y'all something. This, Ron Pringle, help me out here. This one thing that the African Americans don't know about themselves. Many of the things that the Democratic Party is telling you, you don't agree with it. Every Sunday, if they wanted to have a celebration service, let me tell you, a lot of this you don't agree with it. But the reason why most black people vote Democrat is because they're actually voting against the Republican Party. It's a mind game. You are voting Democrat because you are against the Republican Party or this other party. That's the reason why you vote. And many people who are Republicans do the same thing. They don't like Trump, but they're voting against Obama or a Biden or Kamala. This is how it is. This is the way it is, y'all. This is the way of the world. And let me tell you something so embarrassing to me as a black man that happened when Biden dropped out and Kamala came in. The most embarrassing things that African Americans showed the whole world is this. They came together by the thousands, 24 hours, a 24-hour call. They came together by the thousands on a Zoom call and raised millions to put a woman in the office. And much of that, if not most of it, was so to protect a woman's right to kill a child. But let me tell you, it were people who were living in slums, in neighborhoods and cities that have no black bank. Chicago got one black bank and is holding on by a thread. One. And there are millions of black folks who live in Illinois. And these kids are hungry. They closed 50 schools. Black folks was crying. The migrants came here and black folks was crying because the mayor and what have you was taking monies and trying to help the migrants, what have you, and the little places that were slums and places, buildings that were empty, what have you. Black folks were complaining that the city need to do this, the city need to do that. School, trying to get these kids into off the streets and into schools and universities and colleges, blah, blah, blah. All these things black people was complaining about, the defund the police, blah, complaining. And they got on a Zoom call and raised millions of dollars. She raised $300 million last month. I'm so ashamed of you black people. I don't know what to do. I was so ashamed that the only time you come together is for something like this. You got nothing else to say to me. Nothing. You gonna complain. You're going to say that the government didn't do this, the mayor didn't do this, the alderman didn't do this, you know, the governor, whoever, my local congressman, my local representative didn't do this, do that, but you took all your hard-earned money and put it into a party because you was afraid of Donald Trump. And you pushed this woman up there who you still don't know. And the part that you do know, you don't like because of what she did as a prosecutor in California, putting your uncle in jail. And you said, you know what? We got to do what we got to do. And your hard-earned money went to this man. And whoever wins is the same person. Whoever wins is the same person. I put up on my thing, Facebook, something, knowing that it was going to divide you black folks. Mm-hmm. You black folks. I see what you're saying there, Almond, and let me tell you, it's a dog whistle. Reproductive rights is a dog whistle. It's a whistle, whistle, whistle. Alma says it's more than abortion, it's women's health care. That's a dog whistle. My grandmother told me, don't shh where you eat. And my grandmother went to church every Sunday and went to Bible study every Wednesday. It was at church Sunday night. But she said those very words when I just bleeped it. She said, son, don't shh where you eat. That's what reproductive rights dog whistle is. Y'all put millions of dollars into the Kamala campaign or whoever's going to be. Y'all put all $1 million in it, but you could not put money together to put up a clinic to help you all. Put up businesses, black businesses. You couldn't do none of that. You couldn't come together for none of that. See, the excuse is, well, if the Planned Parenthood don't just kill babies, they do all this. Dog whistle. You where you eating. Y'all, I don't fall for that mess. I don't fall for it. So on Facebook, I put up these here words. First question, are we better now? Kamala's answer was, when I was a little girl, blah, blah, blah. That's how she answered it. Knowing that you black folks was going to go off on me. And the comments, rest in peace, by the way, James Earl Jones. A great loss. 167 comments, and a lot of them was like, man, bro, why you doing this? Why you doing this? And then I was like, well, y'all keep watching me because I do this every debate. I do it every debate. Biden's playing run, spot, run is what Trump said. I was going back and forth. Not too many people went on this one. They were like, well, we still going to stay. We stand with what you said about Kamala. I'm like, I'm quoting from Kamala. And then Biden is watching this and saying, that's what I was trying to say, y'all. It's 7 people commented on that. Then Trump says, I'm talking now. Does that sound familiar? I'm like, oh, wow. And then 25 people commented. And I went on all night, y'all, all night. All night I was just peeing the folks off because I know you all are caught up in the herd mentality. And it's sad. It's sad. And I don't know what to say about some of you folks because I don't pander to you people. Y'all know I don't pander to you. I just don't. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch some of the debate here, and I'm going to do a contrast between what happened with Biden and Trump. All right? Here's a highlight between Biden and Trump.
Joe Biden.
Did he say por favor?
And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare, I went to the World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. The crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for?
2 grumpy old men. In the presidential debate, the whole world is watching the so-called most powerful nation in the world. And we can't vote for nobody but 2 grumpy old men talking about their golf hand.
For molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant. I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
We are very, very close to World War III.
That was good right there. The morals of an alley cat. that was a great zinger right there. That was a great zinger. I'm saddened, y'all. What was happening here is a whole bunch of what's called ad hominems that was thrown in this debate. All right, an ad hominem is basically, the attack of a person without really answering the question that's given. That happened in this debate, and then it happened again in last night's debate.
Kamala Harris.
All right, now here's what Kamala Harris did that her boss did not do at the very beginning. All right, let's analyze this. This is about 8 minutes long. All right, and let's see something that was different than what we just saw.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
You see, have fun.
Thank you.
Right there. That's something that Trump and the old man didn't do in that debate. They both went to their podiums and they would not shake hands. This was the first time Kamala Harris sees Donald Trump. This is the first time that they meet. And when she approaches him, she says, "My name is Kamala Harris." I liked it. I liked it. And it threw Trump off. He was like, "Oh, she's coming over here. She's coming over here." He shook her hand. All right. Great opening. Something that the man should have done. But she had to do that.
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight. Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
I don't, and I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care.
Right there, he's lying. He do care because he keeps bringing it up about her not being black. All right, that she's being an Asian, all of a sudden she becomes black. This portion here of the debate made him nervous when it comes to about race and race baiting. This is the most nervous he was last night. He would not have said that on Fox or in his rallies. Oh, I don't really care what he's here. He got pulled in the corner, and he was like, "Well, it really doesn't matter. I don't care." He gave a very short answer. When Trump gives short answers, it's because he don't have an answer.
You make a big deal out of something. I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
But those were your words, so I'm
I
asking.
don't know. I mean, all I can say is I read where she was not black, that she put out, and I'll say that. And then I read that she was black, and that's okay. Either one was okay with me. That's up to her. That's up to her.
I mean, honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career, attempted to use race to divide the American people. You know, I do believe that the vast majority of us know that we have so much more in common than what separates us, and we don't want this kind of approach that is just constantly trying to divide us, and especially by race.
Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy.
Funny.
But
that was funny.
If she ever got elected, she'd change it. And it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics. And
this is something that Trump does a lot, calling people not directly the ad hominems towards the person themselves, but then he'll always bring up maybe the relatives. He'll talk about the father. He did that with the other brother who ran over to Mexico when the hurricane came, when the tornado came, or whatever it was. What's his name? Packed up his bags, called him, said that he was the one who killed JFK or something like that.
He taught her well. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now.
Right there.
If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
That was good. I applauded him. I applauded him for that. That might have been the male in me. I don't know. Was that the chauvinisticness in me? And he talked to all the men in America when he did that. He said, "I'm talking now." Does that sound familiar? Trump he won that round right there.
They have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before. He said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
Ouch. Right there. ABC. She corrected him, spot checked him, fact checked him on the spot right there, and then turned back to Kamala and changed the subject. I was like, when she did that, the very thing that I said was Fox News and conservatives are going to highlight this portion here and go after ABC for what? Being biased. Smart Christian, blessed to you, man. You starting trouble? He be coming over here. men with no hair comes over to the Sirwalterj show, a really hairy room. So she fact-checked him, and then Trump ran over to Fox News to Hannity right after it and was like, you see what she did? You see what ABC did? They're supporting Kamala. But no, they had to fact-check. They had to fact-check you that there is no state in America that allow a woman to have an abortion after 9 months. And the reason why he had to be fact-checked is because, and maybe y'all don't know this, because you don't really care about politics, is that prior to Donald Trump becoming the president, or debating, no president for the couple hundred years we have been doing this, no president was known to be someone who was lying during the presidential debate. There were some gaffes, some Freudian slips. There was the most popular one goes back to Gerald Ford when he was saying there is no takeover in, I forgot what territory that was, and then he apologized the next day. But there was no history of presidents purposely just lying in a debate in American history. So in this climate, you got to now fact check presidential debates, which was unheard of. It wasn't until Barack Obama, not him, when Trump was debating Hillary Clinton, when they was like, I think this is history in the making.
Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And they did exactly as he intended. And now in over 20 states, there are Trump abortion bans, which make it criminal for a doctor or nurse to provide health care. In one state, it provides prison for life. Trump abortion bans that make no exception even for rape and incest, which understand what that means.
Okay. Now, Smart Christians, because he's a Trumpster, says there are 24 states that allow 9-month abortions. Minnesota allows children, but okay, he said ABC was wrong for that. He's only saying that because he is a conservative, bald-headed Trumpster who only watch Fox News. He got Smart Christian. I thought I'd never say this, but he got his facts wrong. He's using alternative facts. No one allows that.
Survivor of a crime of violation to their body does not have the right to make a decision about what happens to their body next. That is immoral. And
late-term abortion is not a 9-month abortion thingy.
Pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban.
It's a lie. I'm not signing a ban, and there's no reason to sign a ban because we've gotten what everybody wanted. Democrats, Republicans, and everybody else, and every legal scholar wanted it to be brought back into the states, and the states are voting. And it may take a little time, but for 52 years, this issue has torn our country apart, and they've wanted it back in the states. And I did something that nobody thought was possible. The states are now voting. What she says is an absolute lie. And as far as the abortion ban, no, I'm not in favor of abortion ban, but it doesn't matter because this issue has now been taken over by the states.
See, that's the problem right there. And this is why Trump got in trouble with his people. He says he's not against abortion ban. Well, Republicans are against abortion bans, period. This is why killing it at the Supreme Court pushed it into the states. I'm for that. I was for getting it out of the hands of the Supreme Court and let the states handle it. as a conservative, and this is the way it should be. The states need to have more power than what the government is suppressing in them. Let the states decide why have a governmental system that we have with checks and balances and putting governors and states and what have you, if the three branches are the ones who can say whatever they want to say. Let the states handle this such delicate matter as abortion. So I supported it. I still support it. All right. And reason why I support it is about what I'm going to say a little later in the show about how you put it into the state and let the state handle it, which gets put in the laps of the people. It's still of the people, by the people, for the people. And if you put these laws into the hands of the states, then it's up to y'all and how you going to handle it. And then it also shows y'all's hypocrisy. It shows y'all hypocrisy. Now, somebody said, why didn't they fact check Kamala Harris? It's because she was wrong maybe once or twice. She did tell a fib about 2 times, all right? I wish I had time to tell y'all which the 2 things that she said that was not true. Trump, about 9 times or more, he did lie. It was a whole lot of them. But typically, there was not much time. They were talking too long, giving too long answers. They was rebuttaling each other too long on one subject. So if they had allowed it to continue, then I think Kamala could have been fact-checked on a couple of things, but it just didn't happen. Unfortunately.
Would you support any restrictions on a woman's right to an abortion?
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade. And as you rightly mentioned, nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the...
All right, smart Christian, she's talking to you. Kamala Harris said that Corey Minor, the bald-headed content creator, he's insulting women by giving us a list of these states, Pennsylvania, Illinois. He put my state in there, and he mentioned the late term. Come on, she's talking to you, and you didn't even hear it. She said your name.
Women of America.
What we will do is we're looking at different plans. If we can come up with a plan that's going to cost our people, our population, less money and be better health care than Obamacare, then I would absolutely do it. But until then, I'd run it as good as it can be run.
So just a yes or no, you still do not?
Oh, right here. Come close. Gather around, boys and girls. Here is where Donald Trump stumbled, tripped, and fell, crashed, and burned. He had been going after Obamacare ever since he was the president of the United States and couldn't do it. It failed. Now he wants to get back in and to give a but notice the void of policy, all right, in this man, in this section right here. Notice the question she's getting ready to ask. Notice his answer. What is it?
Have a plan.
I have constantly better health care than Obamacare, then I would absolutely do it. But until then, I'd run it as good as it can be run.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan.
Ouch.
I'm not president right now.
Really?
But if we come up with something, I would only change it if we come up with something that's better and less expensive. And there are concepts and options we have to do that. And you'll be hearing about it in the not too distant future.
Ouch. So I'm not president yet. It's like 2 people coming together and the brother saying, I don't love you. I'm not in love with you. Okay, she's like, well just marry me. And this may seem like a silly scenario, but it is absolutely true. That happens so many times. The man is a slob. I mean, he's really not that deep into her. He might be having sex with her, but he really don't love her, okay? But what she does is she tries to force him or entice him, encourage him to marry her and feel that he will change once he marries her. So I know you don't love me right now, but if you marry me, you will fall in love with me because I'm going to do all these things, all right? This is what Donald Trump is saying. He says, I don't have a plan right now, but if you make me president, I'll come up with one. That's what he's saying.
I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And
ouch, right there. That hit in the gut. When she brought up the rallies, I was saying, that's petty. Petty. What? We agree? He said, I can't wait until we have better candidates on both. Now we agree. I'd like to officially apologize to Corey Minor and to his inability to grow any kind of follicles on the top of his head. I'd like to apologize on behalf of his maker. Right there, I was like, that's petty. Why? Because the two grumpy men was talking about their golf game. Bringing up rallies, that's petty. But she went and landed on he doing all this talking at his rallies about nothing, but he doesn't focus on you. That's when it went from petty to, oh, I see what you did there. I see. You took a chance to be petty, but I see what you did. I see how you ended it.
I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating.
Look at her face.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio.
And unfortunately, that's smart Christian channel. I said I apologize, Corey. Did you not hear me apologize? There's 400 people here. You didn't hear me apologize to you? Now, did you hear what he said here? They are eating your cats and your dogs. And ABC had to step up again and fact check him. And this is why conservative media went after ABC, because they were like, okay, they're so biased, they're so liberal, they're fact checking him. Well, when you say something as egregious and gross negligence as saying that hide your cats, hide your dogs, hide your hamsters, because the migrants are coming over here and having an eating fest, you got to fact check that. You have to.
And ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. And it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
And this is how he got those evangelicals to jump in and say, whatever you want to do, Trump, we don't care. You can sleep with porn stars. You can say you grab women by the vajayjays and attack TikToks. And you can say I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and I'll never win, never lose. And you could talk about those in the military and those gold star families, and you can shoot bombs right there on Pennsylvania Avenue so that you can hold a Bible in front of a church and have a photo op. You can do anything you want to do. You can say, you can tease those who are maimed and what have you. You could anything you want to say, anything you want to do. You could look up in the sky and say, can't nobody fix this but me. You can say that I don't owe God no apology, nothing like that. There's nothing that I've done where I need to say I'm sorry to God. No. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. No other man in American history could have ever got the votes from Christians, white evangelicals. No other person in American history could have acted this way and got those people to jump in. Churches all over America jumped in to support a man like that. No, in no other place in history. The only reason why they rallied around Trump, it was for not just the only, but two major reasons, 2 major, and maybe a third one is a minor. 3. That's it. Everything else, no. They could care less about that man. And he just said it. The migrants. He went down that escalator, got to the mic and say, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, and some of them might be good people. They're coming here from Venezuela and they're coming here from Mexico. They're jumping over the borders and they're eating your cats and dogs and they're killing you and raping you and pillaging. And them folks were like, yes, finally, he speaks for somebody. He speaks for us. He speaks for us. He speaks for us. And he wasn't even talking about the whole abortion thing. He wasn't rallying around get rid of abortion. No. He was really weak on it. Every now and then he brought it up, but not that much. They just heard a little bit of it, and they was like, okay, we just need somebody to talk about a little bit of it. And then he talked about Israel and the bringing the embassy back to Jerusalem. They was like, yes, now you're speaking to all of these men and women, the Paula Whites and the Dr. David Jeremiahs and the man who's over the Fufi Christians, Kufi Christians United for Israel, the Hagis and the Rex Heller and Jack Van Nippies and the Rod Parsleys and all these white evangelicals on TBN, the Word Network, the Church Channel, all this stuff. He was speaking to that audience as well, and they rallied around him for that. I'm telling y'all, if you can't hear the whistle that only dogs can hear, I'm telling you, it's amazing how ignorant Christians are. Go to my show again on cults and how easy it is to get pulled into cults. All they got to do is talk your language. Barack Obama saying, "Oh me, zingers," and everybody from around the country stood up and said, "That's our guy." Christians are the most vulnerable, easiest people I know. My dude, I'm working at a factory, and this dude, married with children, loved to go to the casino, but he was messing with this girl. I'm like, who this girl? He said, this church girl. He says, church girls are easy. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm in church, so I know. He said, church girls so easy. He said, man, I pulled up in my new Cadillac and I came to this Pentecost. He said, especially Pentecostal girls. The ones be jumping up and down, speaking in tongues and foaming at the mouth. He said, I pulled up to that church. I told my wife I'm going to the store or something. He said, I pulled up to that church. He said, because I booked a hotel for her. And he said, and I walked up to it was a revival going on. And I walked up to the door and I peeked in and my girl was jumping up and down, speaking in tongues and doing a Holy Ghost jig and, foaming. And I tried to get her attention and she opened her eyes and she saw me. He said, right away, she stopped dancing, grabbed her purse, and came outside, got in my Cadillac, and I took her to the hotel. I said, that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. He said, church girls are easy. This is how the world see you all. And Donald Trump even said that a few times. He says, they're easy. The Republicans are easy. He says, matter of fact, I played a few videos on my show where he said that the economy actually works better. The economy is better under the Democratic Party. And it was proven to be true. And he said, him being a businessman, he knew. And then he was alluding to that. He says, I'm gonna run a Republican because they're too easy. And he did that, and he proved it true. Easy. They're easy like Sunday morning. So, man, when I talk like this, people are like, you must be a Democratic fool. When people come after me and say stuff like that, it's only because they are living in the bubble. And these are the people who don't know anything about context. They don't understand context. A man could say something for a whole hour about what he don't like to eat. And as soon as he say he like to eat this thing that you don't like to eat, you have forgotten everything he said for the first hour. Ask me how I know. I've been on this thing for 10 years. I know how y'all operate.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country.
Well, I think this is so rich coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next big court appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing. Understand, this is someone who has openly said he would terminate, I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution of the United States, that he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy.
In the past couple of weeks leading up to this debate, you have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite make it, that you came up a little bit short.
I said that?
Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I
you
said
did
that
say
sarcastically.
That.
You know that. It was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically.
Vice President Harris, you heard the president there tonight. He said he didn't say that he lost by a whisker. So he still believes he did not lose the election that was won by President Biden and yourself. But I do want to ask you about something that's come up in the last couple of days. This was a post from President Trump about this upcoming election just weeks away. He said, when I win, those people who cheated, and then he lists donors, voters, election officials, he says will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences. One of your campaign's top lawyers responded saying, we won't let Donald Trump intimidate us. We won't let him suppress the vote. Is that what you believe he's trying to do here?
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing that.
Ouch. Ouch. Now that hurts. But it's true. But also, Biden was also fired by 70-something million people. So it goes both ways. And that last segment, she was getting ready to chomp into him, and she basically said, you are a disgrace to other nations and leaders. You are a disgrace. And she was like, this former president, and I know she wanted to cuss, but she had to calm herself down. Listen, y'all, I ain't voting for none of them. I ain't voting for none of them. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm going to go there and pull the lever. I'm going to pull the lever, and I'm going to do some rights here and that. And y'all like, yeah, but a non-vote for this person, a vote for this person. Go sit on an egg, okay? Go sit on an egg and do something with yourself. Vote. Do whatever you need to do because somebody died, all right, so that you may have a right to do it. I'm talking to you black folks, right? They died so that you may have a right. Number 2, vote your conscience. Exercise your right. Whether you stay home that night or whether you go to the thing and vote that night. If you're saved, you're still going to heaven. Don't worry about it. But it just is feasible and it just makes sense to do it. All right? Vote Cory Minor in 2024. Last week we decided Beatrice Carter would be the president. I think I'm going to run. I think I might need to run. If a bald-headed man can run, I'm running. So now, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. Come close. I'm especially talking to you hypocrites. Come close. Because I've been using that word for the past 2 weeks lately. Okay? You hypocrites. I'm hungry. I need to go eat. Because this is the part that really rattles my chains. Okay? Every 4 years, you all get out there and vote. For what? I'm getting ready to sound bipolar. All right? I'm getting ready to sound like I have autoimmune disease. All right? By saying that every 4 years when you vote, you're not voting for the president of the United States. And they have been telling you all that all your life, and you still can't hear it. You still can't hear it. You're not voting for the president of the United States. Because on November the 8th or whenever it is this year, once you vote, it still ain't official. How we know? Because January 6th happened. Why did January 6th happen? Because your vote wasn't official. It wasn't official. Then why would that be? There two other things need to happen after you vote. You understand? So you vote every 4 years, but the election in many cases is already in the bag. By what you don't do every 2 years. Can y'all tell me what that is? Can y'all tell me what that is? What is that thing that you don't do every 2 years? I like to know. So somebody told you to get out and vote every 4 years, but you already 2 years too late. Come on, Lynette Thomas. Your electors. And when you skip that part, here's a hint. Here's a hint. Here's a big hint right here. Here's a big hint. Come on, April. Certification must happen. Nobody votes in the primaries. The primaries is it's the smallest. Let me tell y'all. Barack Hussein Obama was the president of the United States. In his second term, he only had just a few months left. He was a lame duck president. Somebody died over in the Supreme Court. You understand? Somebody died. They need to fill that seat. Barack Obama says, let Mr. Merrick Garland, he's the man for the job. He's the man. He's a bad mother. Merrick said, shut your mouth. Barack was like, I'm just talking about Merrick. He said, I can dig it. So he said, here's your guy. The people who you all don't pay no attention to was the one who held up Merrick Garland. The man with the big neck, and he looks like a turtle. He says, Mr. President, you are a lame duck president, and it just would behoove us to just wait. The new man is coming in January. Let's just wait and let the new president decide who's going to be the next Supreme Court justice. And the reason why he was able to do that and have the power to do it because you didn't vote. And because you didn't vote, that particular political party had the upper hand to say, listen, we have the votes. My name is Mitch McConnell, and I approve of this message. And they held it up. How? How could that legislative branch hold up a nominee? Because you didn't vote. You didn't vote. Right here. Here's a perfect example. I've been on the show for 53 minutes, and he asked me, what do I have against Trump? Come on, Alfred. So, it's called checks and balances. You see, the executive branch is the president, and he's over the armed forces, executive in chief. All right? He's over the police force. You understand? And he has executive privileges and rights to put in people to protect us. That's why when he raises his hand and put his hand on the Bible, there's a certain quote that he quotes about the Constitution. Protect. So then there's that legislative branch in which you have no dealings with. Every 2 years, you vote for your representative of your state to sit in that seat in Congress. House of Representatives, the Senate is bicameral. It's split. You need that. And then who sits in the judicial branch is up to both of them. Both the executive and the legislative branch is up to the both of them to put somebody in that seat. So Barack Hussein Obama, Barry for short, chose a man. Mitch, because he had the power, said, no, hold the man. Barack served out his term and Trump got in, and then not only was he able to put somebody in that seat, 2 other people left that seat. So what did he do? He had the power to put 3 people in that seat, which tipped the court right. Conservative right. Not right as righteous, but conservative right. You see? How did that happen? You decided not to vote. You see? And then those in that seat said, all right, we've got the dominance now. We're going to kill this. We're going to kill affirmative action. We're going to kill abortion. At least we're going to take it off our tables and put it into the states. We're going to make the president, if hopefully Donald Trump become president, we're going to give him exclusive rights and privileges to do and say whatever he wants to. We're giving him power and authority. Y'all wasn't paying much attention to that, was you? No, you wasn't. You wasn't. Yeah. How was that able to happen? Because y'all are horrible at chess. You didn't see that the man had some cards there that he was sitting on some cards, and you didn't see his hand. You gotta know where to fold, know when to walk away, know when to run. You gotta count you didn't do none of that. Every 2 years. And people like Cindy went down there and said, Trump's our guy. I don't care if he was touching vaginas, and I don't care if he was spitting in God's face. I don't care. We want to close the borders. Cindy was out there, and January 6th, she was like, close the borders. We love Israel. And don't stop killing those babies. Cindy was there. She was there. I saw on the news. And many of them was rallying around the very thing that they needed, because them white evangelicals was having backyard abortions. White evangelicals, I know a couple of them who was at the Trump rallies. They got pregnant and they needed to get an abortion. I know many of them who was on Obamacare when Trump was the president. And Trump was like, I got to kill this Obamacare. And all those Republicans came. I don't know if y'all remember that, at the White House, and they had a photo op. And they were like, we're going to have something better. And many of those who were down in North Carolina and West Virginia was like, man, I got to support him, but I'm on Obamacare. And without it, I can't pay my bills. My children need Obamacare. So those people are part of the 5 laws of stupid people on my Patreon account. Did y'all see that? The 5 laws of stupid people? Well, if you haven't seen it, go on patreon.com, the Sirwalterj Jones Show. The 5 laws of stupid people tell you that these dictators do things even though it hurts them, or it hurts the bottom line, or it hurts the nation who they're trying to, it hurts them because of stupidity. And people will rally around stupidity because of this one thing that benefits them. And y'all call yourself a Christian nation. Denise Wiggins, are you praying for me? I know you are. The 5 laws of stupid people. Yes, Gloria. John McCain voted to save Obamacare. I loved John McCain. I loved him. And I didn't always agree with his policies, but I loved him. He did this and saved it. And so you conspirators who are coming in here, we laugh at you. We laughing at you, conspirators. I see y'all in here. you cat eating people. You cat eating people. Y'all something else, man. Y'all something else. All right, so let's get back to our civics class. All right. So, because you do not vote every 2 years in the midterm, things happen in your city and your state that you're crying about because you only vote every 4 years. And now you get somebody like that crazy girl in Congress who we haven't heard from in a while. I don't know y'all go check on her. What's the crazy girl name? Over there in the Republican Party. What's the crazy girl? She's always doing something stupid. Is she from New York? Where's she from? Where's she from? Just stupid. Stupid stuff. How could we get somebody that ignorant in office? What's her name? Green? What's her name? Taylor Green? What's her name, y'all? How could we get somebody that ignorant? It's because they were voted in. Thank you, Marjorie Taylor. They were voted in by people who they felt was their representation. They're banking on y'all not voting so that a small group of people vote for that senator and she gets in and wreaks havoc. Havoc. All right. I'm hungry, y'all. I'm gonna go. It's time to go to lunch. Time to go to lunch. So what's the answer, y'all? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Both of those who are running for office is going to be the result of what you want. God has given you what you want. You all are going to get a King Saul. You understand? It's because you want it. The people were told by the prophet that this guy you want, he's going to enslave you all. He's going to rob and pillage. And it was like, we don't care what he does to us. We want a king because other nations have a king. America is basically saying we want an authoritarianism. We want a dictator, and other nations have a dictator. I love you too, Cindy. You know, I was picking on you. I was picking on you earlier. But you know I love you. We want a dictator. And so they chose him. Now, you all, if Kamala Harris wins, it's the same effect. We want somebody to help us with our immoralities, our gay affairs, and our killing of children and this and that. So you're going to get Kamala. You're getting the same thing. You're getting a King Saul. It's what you wanted. As far as the debate is concerned, Kamala Harris won that debate for sure. She won the debate. She did. Why? Well, because debates is about two things. It's about policy and it's about character. And her character showed America that she's a fighter. It didn't matter if she misled you. It didn't matter if she laughed too much for some of y'all. It didn't matter. It's really about character. And so there was some policy in there. There was not much policy at all with Donald Trump. He says the same recycled stuff over and over again. That's just what he says. Now, debates don't win elections. Like polls don't win elections either. Polls are a stamp or a picture in time. Today's poll is not tomorrow's poll, so don't get excited. And there are people who have won the popular vote but lost the election. Hillary Clinton being a perfect example. Do you understand? Donald Trump being a perfect example. Didn't win the popular vote, but he sure won the electors. He won because you didn't vote right, depending on who you were voting for, you see. So these debates don't win elections. People were rooting for their guy. A boxing match, it doesn't matter who wins. Like a ball game, it doesn't matter who wins. Those people are going to go home still supporting the guy who they put in the ring. Do you understand? And I know there are some people who are undecided voters. It's about that many of them. And the news always highlight those undecided voters. Please. Please. Most of America went into that ring voting for Kamala, and if she had lost that fight, they would have left there still voting for her. You understand? A man convinced of his will is of the same will still. That don't win elections. That's why the last debate that he had with Biden, Trump actually won the debate because the other old man couldn't talk. Trump had lied so much till we just got used to his lying, and we was like, man, he's so presidential. Even though he was lying, it's all about character. All right. So I'm done with politics for today. Who died today, this morning? Can't get over you. Whoa, whoa. You make me happy. Yeah, I'm going to miss him. You know, if you're old school, especially if you live in Chicago and you know how to step, I'm still learning how to step, y'all. Me and my daughter used to step all the time, and I stepped on her toes and she stepped on mine. He's gone, and we're definitely gonna miss him. Two great men done gone over the past couple of days, and that old school sound is nothing like it. Cause y'all ain't writing. What y'all writing is just a bunch of garbage. Joyce said Biden's tongue got tied. Yeah, so good old Frankie Beverly is gone, and so the music died. You know, we typically say that when somebody great dies in music. The music died today, Frankie Beverly. So we're praying for the family, and thank you, Beverly, for that great music. Frankie is not his real name. I mean, that's his nickname or something like that, but he's got a name. The press release, his name is Howard Stanley Beverly. Howard Stanley Beverly. He was born in 1946, by the way. There's a press release. All right. So we thank the family for sending that release out. Other than that, y'all take care of yourselves and one another. I'm gonna go and put something in my belly, and I was locked up in school, y'all. So Patreon, if you didn't see any activity going on there, well, y'all did see some activity in the morning, but I was locked in school for a couple of days because I got to catch up. So I'll be back over there. All right. Pray for my strength, my health, my mentality, and all that good stuff, that I can keep focused in school, because I'm doing a lot, you all. I do these lives. I do the unplugs, which another unplug should be dropping tonight. And I fill you up with Patreon, and I do a lot. And I'm in school. I just happen to be a father, a grandfather. I'm a preacher, pastor. I got church duties. It's a lot going on. And there's only so much my staff could do for me. I got to do most of it. All right, so pray for my strength. So people hit me up with a lot of emails and requests and questions, and I get to them as I can. All right. So if you're not praying for me, I'm gonna fall down a hole. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, David. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you all. It's crazy. Listen, it is never my intention to hurt anybody, to offend anybody when you're voting or you're choosing a candidate. No. Because I do know if I speak against a candidate, you feel like I'm spitting in your face. But all I'm doing is trying to show you some things that you might want to consider before you pull that lever. All right? That's all I'm doing. And I don't like to pander to people, and I don't kiss up to nobody. I'm going to tell you the truth. And if it hurts you, then it hurts you. But I'm doing this because I love you. You understand? I don't beg y'all for money. I don't spend the first 15 minutes of my shows. Please, y'all, subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please do this. Please, I'm waiting for 5 more, about 15 more. I don't do none of that. If y'all notice, when I start my show, I get to talking right away because we ain't got time to waste time on trying to fill up my coffers, okay? The people will give to the CashApp and PayPal, and they send me money over the P.O. box. When they feel like it, if they can afford it, they'll do that. They do whatever they can. But I never want to be that guy to beg y'all for money. The Lord will supply. And if I continue to bless the people, because people are in need, and so there's a lot of money that do leave this desk and go and feed the hungry and take care of a lot of these single mothers and what have you. Yes, I will say that does happen. But the Lord did tell me that if you continue to give to the poor, that you're lending to me. Meanwhile, preach the gospel, but do it in season, out of season. Correct, rebuke, and reprove. And that's the portion that people don't like. The rebuking and the reproving part. You don't like it. Well, the children of Israel didn't like it either. And the Babylonians and the Assyrians took them away. All right? I don't want nobody to take y'all away. I love y'all too much so that you won't be pulled by every wind of doctrine. And in this political sphere, just because somebody look like you, they might be white, you run to the whites, the blacks run to the blacks, Hispanics run to the Hispanics, the Democrats run with the Democrats, the Republicans run with the Republicans. And really, you got to be careful that you don't see the wolf. The wolf. Some of y'all are saying that the sky is falling, all right? Please be careful, all right? Whatever you do, have an open mind. Make sure your eye is open so that you can see the wolf. That's the wolf who said he's feeding you. That same wolf is going to cuff you and throw you in prison. All right, don't let everybody feed you. And that's why my parents did not allow us to eat at everybody's house. Just because there's food there and you hungry, mama said, don't eat. Don't eat. All right, a stray cat come to your door, don't feed that cat, or that cat ain't never leaving. Don't feed raccoons either. We got a raccoon problem. We got a old possum problem here too. And you feed one, they're gonna go back and get their families, and then now you've got an infestation. All right, so don't get caught up there because you hungry and you go over there and running over there. No, look at the whole picture, and you pray and ask God help us, because we need proper leadership. And they ain't got to be saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized. You don't go to your banker and ask him, is he saved? You don't even go to a restaurant and ask the waiter, is he saved? You don't ask the chef, is he saved? No, you don't even ask the judge, is he saved? So why are you looking for somebody in politics who's saved, huh? It'd be nice if he was, but let me tell you, everybody who jump in politics, I got to do this. It's a juggling act. It's a juggling act. And the people who got the most money are the ones who rule who rule Congress. That's why Congress doesn't, that little money that y'all give them for salary? No. Many people in Congress groups that feed Congress, which tell Congress this is how you should vote. This is the bill that you issued. You all don't know that, so you got to vote for somebody in your local territory who you trust. who is a person of good standard so that they won't be bought out when they get into Congress. Unfortunately, this happens. Corruption happens too much. So you need to be voting every 2 years, not every 4 years. All of it is corrupt. Ask God how to vote, and trust me, we'll be better people. So I don't mean to offend you all. I'm just telling y'all what I see is happening because I studied civics all my life. Always been involved. Get involved. You'll be a better person. See you tonight, Unplugged. Take care of yourselves. I love y'all more than you ever know.
Fellas, does it seem like you can't get a good woman? Ladies, wonder why you can't keep a man? Then read The 4 Women That Men Desire, Volume 1, by Sirwalterj to figure out how to break the cycle. Go to Amazon.com to get your copy today.